Fellow Nigerians all over the world, welcome to Anti-Court Lessons in Nigeria. My name is Aluta Continua, your general tutor and the leader of anti-court activities in Nigeria. Right now, we are addressing the use of armed thugs for land grabbing in Ogun State. It is a pressing issue that has plagued our beloved society for far too long. Yes, and there is need to be addressing it right now. The use of thugs for land grabbing has become a scourge in our society, leaving countless of innocent people displaced, traumatized, and without sense of security. These thugs are often hired by unscrupulous individuals or by a group of people who arm them with weapons to attack innocent members of the public. Their aim is to acquire land that do not belong to them without the consent of the owners or occupants on the land. They use weapons, intimidation, violence, and coercion to take over land that do not belong to them. In fact, they show no regard at all for the rule of law. They show no respect at all for human rights. They show no mercy, no empathy for their victims. These criminal syndicates generate a lot of millions from land grabbing and use of thugs, just like kidnapping, terrorism, and coup. Land grabbing has become a lucrative crime in our society today. Some people are cashing out heavily from these criminal acts. And due to poverty and poor economic situation, these syndicates easily find many hungry and jobless youths to arm and use as thugs. So it is not just the thugs we should blame. It is also the system that enables them, the corrupt officials who turn blind eye, and the wealthy elites who hire them to do their dirty job. So we must acknowledge that land grabbing is not just a matter of property rights violation. It is also a matter of human rights abuse. When we allow thugs to take over land and refuse to act as expected as a lawful society, we are not just displacing people, we are also destroying their livelihoods, their communities, their sense of belonging, and creating a structure of organized criminal cartels. We are destroying our society and encouraging terrorism and other associated crime. In fact, we are the architects of our own problems in disguise. Now, what can we do to effectively combat the menace of land grabbing in our society? What can we do? First, we must demand that our government takes decisive action to address the menace of land grabbing, the use of thugs for land grabbing, and combat who is arming these thugs and their source of arms. Very, very important. We need strong laws, more effective enforcement efforts, and greater accountability to fight these organized land grabbers, who among them are some traditional rulers in our society. None of them involved should be spared. Second, we must support, protect, and empower the victims of land grabbing. We must provide them with access to justice, with support for their livelihoods, and with a platform to tell their stories. This is very fundamental. Finally, we must recognize that land grabbing is not just a problem for the victims. It is a problem for all of us as people. It is a threat to our collective security, our economic development, and our social cohesion. It is also a threat to the world around us. So, I call on all the international community to take the issue of land grabbing in Nigeria more seriously. In my next video, I will focus on a viral video we took up in January 2025, and we involve the CDHR and some humanitarians, where armed thugs invaded and attacked the farmland of a physically challenged farmer in Ifo, local government area of Ogun State. The vulnerable farmer alleged that the Olu of Itori, Oba Abdul Fatai Akurede Akamu, and the Bale of Olorunsogun, Chief Kayode Samuel Shodimu, sent thugs and were after stealing his land. We also drew the attention of the Ogun State government to the video, as the victim in the video called for the key representatives of his people in government to intervene. These people have intervened. That is it. They have intervened now. Governor Dapo Abiodun too has intervened. A lot of facts were revealed, although we are still going to examine and cross-check some of these facts. However, efforts were taken by the state government to protect the vulnerable victim, but there are other victims we will consider. Nevertheless, the role of the Olu of Itori was made clear concerning the allegations made in the video. The reaction of the Olu of Itori afterward was notable too. So, who and who are responsible for sponsoring the armed thugs? Who are the land grabbers? In our next videos, we shall be looking into all the details. answering questions, sharing vital lessons, and raising a petition to the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Ogun State for decisive action against land grabbers and the concerns of the other victims. We will press for visa ban on all the list of land grabbers and their collaborators. We also want the international community to reject and cancel all documents whatsoever that the traditional rulers involved have signed. Criminals can't be in royal robes to be recommending evil. That is how cultism and violence has spread to other parts of the world. The cases of violent clashes in United Arab Emirates and some other parts of the world that dented the good image of over 99% of law-abiding Nigerians are typical examples of when criminals are in positions recommending an authenticated candidate for visas and things like that. Also, any elite involved in land grabbing to be treated abroad as individuals who deserve no honor. Enough is enough. So let us stand together against land grabbing and use of thugs in Ogun State. Let us stand against the abuse of the valuable culture and traditions of the Yoruba people. Let us demand justice, equality, and human dignity for all. Let us stand up for the truth and rights of the people of Ogun State. Tomorrow is another day on Anti-Court Lessons in Nigeria. Don't forget to share. Thank you. Aluta Continua, Victoria Asata.